Genesis. God promises a son to Abraham.
Do not be afraid, Abraham. I am your shield, your very great reward. Genesis 15, verse 1. Abraham stood on the hill overlooking the valley. In the distance, he could see the lights of the city. The night was quiet and a cool breeze blew across the hilltop. Abraham looked up at the stars above him. They were spread out like bright jewels on a dark velvet cloth, shining brightly. In the distance, he could hear his sheep bleat as they shuffled around, looking for a place to sleep. Abraham looked up at the moon and tried to see if he could recognize any constellations. He even saw a shooting star.
Abraham! Abraham!
Abraham knew it was God speaking to him.
Yes, Lord. Here I am, Abraham answered. Look up at the heavens and count the stars. Tell me how many there are, said God.
Abraham shook his head and replied,
Lord, you know that I'm old and that I cannot see that far. Besides, there are too many stars to count. You shall be the father of nations, Abraham. You will have as many children as there are stars. How is this possible, Lord? Asked Abraham. I'm an old man, and I don't have any children. Isn't it too late for me to have a son? I'm nearly 100 years old. Abraham, said God, I have many great plans for you and your family and their families to come. I promise to watch over you and all your descendants, said God.
Abraham closed his eyes and imagined what it would be like to hold his own son for the first time. 10 toes and 10 fingers and the brightest brown eyes. He would call his son Isaac. Abraham was not sure how everything would work out, but he knew that God would keep his promise. Abraham trusted in God.
God explained that he would change Abraham's name to Abraham, which means father of nations. God promised that Abraham's family would become kings and that they would be his special, chosen people. God's promise, which is also called a covenant, was the beginning of an adventure for Abraham and his family.
This promise, or covenant, was part of a long, long friendship God keeps with his special chosen people. God promised to protect them and lead them and show them the way through every adventure.
What you discover in this story. When Isaac was born as the first of many sons, Abraham was 100 years old and his wife Sarah was 90.
Memorize Genesis 15 verse 18. On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham.